Hello, guys. What's going on with you? I hope you're doing okay. I did an announcement of this stream some days ago, so some of you have probably got that and will be joining this stream. We'll see. But this is a second look at my rat deck, as it were. Yeah. Um, and I've already gone through it, the rat deck, so I won't take this stream won't take 2 hours, but we're gonna have a new look at it because I did play with the rat deck, and while it's pretty good, it's still not fast enough. So I need to make it faster. Uh, and how I'm gonna do that, I'm not too sure. So maybe you guys can help me with that and get my rat deck to be even faster than it already is. Yeah. And as always, I brought my urge with me. It's uh, a sugar-coated monstrosity, which I love. Yeah. Only available in Norway, though, as far as I know. If you got this in your country, then please leave a comment below. And yeah. So, uh, I'm just going to take a sip of this, guys, and then we can get started. So, I don't know how I'm going to make it faster, if I'm going to add more lands or what I'm going to do, but this is the commander. You've seen him before in my previous stream. It's a legendary creature, so he can go as a commander. He's got Toxic 1, so it means that he himself does the 1 poison counter. And he also gives all my rats 1 poison or toxic, yeah. And when he enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Yeah, you may reveal any number of rat cards from among them and put the reveal cards into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in any order. So yeah, it's this guy, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. But as mentioned, I just thought I'd go through the commander with you so you know what I'm talking about. So the way we're gonna do this, I'm gonna take out samples of my deck, which is 99 other cards. Should be 99 cards anyway. I believe I have 99 cards in here. There we go. 99 cards. Yeah. And I'm gonna draw out 7 cards each time, and we're gonna see what we get. And I'm gonna do that till we reach 0 cards left in the library. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So as you can see, already we have a problem here because that's the dog detective. He's pretty cool. And relentless rats, which I got 20 of in this deck. Refurbished familiar, also pretty cool. And Piper of the Swarm. Yeah. All pretty cool cards. But no lands. Because the other 3 are Earth Spitting Rats. And when that comes into play, each player discards a card, which is okay. and Bad Moon, and one land. Those are the 7 cards. Yeah. So it is pretty cool, but sorry, you can't see much of this card since there's lighting shining on it. But I think I will remove Bad Moon because I don't really need to make my creatures stronger in this deck. Even though it's a pretty cool card though. It's awesome, but it's more of a meme card than anything else. Um, it's cool to have in there, but it doesn't make my deck more efficient, as it were. So I'm just gonna remove that. Dog Detective. Let's look at him as well. When Dog Detective enters the battlefield, surveil 2. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on the top of your library in any order. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you may return Dog Detective from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, it's not too bad, and it's not too expensive either, so I might as well just keep him. And it does make my deck more efficient since I get to draw and change out cards and stuff. Yeah, so I'll just keep this guy. Okay, that's 7 of the first cards in this deck. 1 has been removed, and I'm gonna keep the rest of them because, well, they fit the theme, and it's rat-based cards, and I want to have rats in this deck. So, as you can see, and I got 20 of this, so these get stronger the more I have. So, and I, of course, have to have my land, but I'm omitting Bad Moon. Yeah. Okay, let's have another gander. Let's have 7 more cards and see what's hidden under there. Yeah. Okay, so 2 lands this time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh, and now you know there's 2 lands in here. So Lab Rats. It's a sorcery which lets me put out 1 rat token. Pretty cheap as well, and I have the buyback ability. Which lets me put this in my hand instead of the graveyard, so I can play it again next turn. That's pretty cool. Stronghold Rats. And Ferocious Vermin. Yeah, a bit stronger hand this. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to have this though, since it's got green in the cost here. I need to have trampled in my deck of some fashion, but I don't know if I'm allowed to have this card because I don't got any green lands. So I'll just have to admit this and see if I'm allowed to have it or not. I believe I'm not allowed to have it, but I'm gonna have to check that out. This is a stronger hand than the previous one because here I have 2 lands instead of 1, and I also have a rat with shadow, which is nice to have because if my opponent doesn't have shadow, then I can bypass them and attack their player and get a toxic counter on them, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and if I do damage to a player, then each player discards a card. This affects me too, though, so I'm not too sure how powerful it is, but the discard effect in this deck is pretty powerful because I got some discard cards in here, so we'll just have to see how it rolls out. Yeah. And we got Voracious Vermin in here. When Voracious Vermin enters the battlefield, create a 1-1 black rat creature token, sorry. And this creature can't block. I know I have some rat tokens around there someplace, but I can't find them, so I have to look. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Voracious Vermin. Yeah. And then when you got this guy, he's the Ichor Rats. When Ichor Rats enter the battlefield, each player gets a poison counter. I'm not too sure, though, what this means. If it has Infect and gets Toxic as well. If that counts as 2 counters or just 1. I'm not sure. I have to look that up as well, I think. Yeah. But I'm just omitting the artifact as of now. This is a pretty strong hand, so I'm just going to keep that. Please leave a comment below if there's something you disagree on, if there's something you want me to keep, or. So now we got 2 cards that's omitted. And as of now, I think I just add lands instead. But we'll see. I have a pile of cards here which I'm thinking of adding to the deck. But we'll see if I do that. Seven more cards then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another more powerful hand, but I can see straight off the bat here that I probably have. I'm a bit low on lands, I think. Yeah, because I need more lands in this deck. Because I can't have both. I got lots of discard effects in here, but I can't have both. So I either have discard or I have something else. I am considering adding a lot of single targeted removal, like this one. But then I have to exchange this with, for example, my discard cards. And that would include rats that also discard cards, and I don't know how smart that is, to be honest. Sacrifice Font of Return. Return to 3 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty awesome. And yeah. If I pay 6, then I can do it all in one go, since these enchantments don't have summoning sickness. This is pretty powerful. It's I bought it on Outland, paid like $200 for it or something like that. Kroner, not pounds. Yeah. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have flying and indestructible. So that means all my innocent-looking rats suddenly get flying. They sprout wings and are indestructible as well. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. If you can't, sacrifice Eldrazi Monument. Yeah. But then I already have lots of rat tokens in place. I can just sacrifice one of those each turn. So sort of an end game card. Yeah. Which makes me win pretty quickly. Yeah. So then I either kill my opponents with the help of poison counters, or I got lots of these in play, which are so strong that I just, let's say I have 7 of these. That makes this card an 8/8, and then I just, 7 of those. That's 8 times 7. That's 56 damage, right? Yeah. Because they got flying and indestructible. My opponent probably has 1 or 2 flying though, so that would make trample quite handy. Crypt rats, a rat with a board wipe effect, so that's pretty cool to have. This I'm not too sure about though. Exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way. I'm not sure if I need this. I mean, this is supposed to be a fast sort of deck, so this just prolongs the deck. It gives me life, of course, but that's not the main purpose of this deck. It's just to deal a lot of damage quickly and be done with it. I'm not supposed to live long, so yeah, I'm omitting this. So that makes it 3 cards omitted already. Sacrifice. This is a land. It's not a basic land, but it's a land. Sacrifice volatile fault. Destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. That player may search their library for a basic land card, put it into battlefield, and shuffle. You create a treasure token. Okay. Okay, so that makes this hand even more powerful because now I suddenly got 3 lands in here. Yeah. So pretty cool, I must say. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna keep the rest of these. It's nice to have font of return because I don't got many cards that return my creatures from my graveyard, so I need to have this. And this is pretty self-explanatory. It's an artifact, and it's a sort of a card that lets you win games. So need to keep this. Okay, I believe that's my 3rd round of 7 cards. So let's just continue. Here we have actually a lot of lands. 1, 2, 3, 4 lands here. So then there's just 3 cards I need to talk about because the rest is lands. Excuse me, guys. I'm just gonna close the door, which makes it a bit noisy here. So if I close that, then... Yeah, okay, so there's no particular reason for me to having this card. It's Black Cat, but it's fun because there's lots of rats in this deck, and of course there's going to be a rat in here. And when Black Cat dies, target opponent discards a card at random. So it's just a really fun card to have since there's lots of rats in here, and there's obviously going to be a cat present when there's lots of rats. So there's no particular reason for me other than that to have it. So, but I think that reason is strong enough. Then we have this card. It's a pretty powerful card, and it's got Suspend, which makes it even more fun. So I get to cast it after my Suspend counters are spent, and that's then goes destroy target creature. Its controller loses life equal to its power plus its toughness. So if a player has a very, very large and powerful creature, then I can just, yeah. So even though this has nothing to do with the Wrath theme, I'm just going to keep it, I think, because it's a really powerful card and a cool card to have because it makes my opponents wary of something that is about to happen. Because when you have a card in Suspend, you have to show it. You have to. You can't do like this. You have to have it visible so players are aware of what's going to happen. And they can't counter the Suspend. I believe they can counter the spell when it comes on though. So that's probably the worst thing about Suspend, that it lets players become aware and prepared for something like this to happen. But that's just the name of the game. I just have to accept that. That's how it is. One more of these. Yeah. As mentioned, I have 20 of them, so you're going to see a lot of these. So yeah. But this is probably my most powerful hand yet. Half lands like these and half. Yeah. So I'm pretty satisfied with my deck so far. So I don't think I really need to add cards like this, target removal. I think I just need to add more lands, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think this is my 5th 7 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry if I've lost count. I may have done that actually. Another powerful hand here. 3 more lands. So this deck is probably not shuffled that good. Some hands have none and others have. Well, I've had 1 land, which has been the worst case scenario so far. Diabolic Intent. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. It's a tutor, which means I can search my library for any card I want, as long as I sacrifice a creature and pay the cost, which is 2. It's pretty cool. It's nice to have some tutor effects in a deck, which lets you search your library for a card in any given situation that you need it. So, yeah. It's dumb to actually throw this away. I'm going to keep it. We also have this Profane command. Target player loses X life. Okay. Return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, that's also cool. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. This is a targetable removal then. And up to X target creature gain fair until end of turn. They can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and black creatures, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Jeg holder på med en stream her.
Skal jeg gå?
Nei, du kan bare være. Så lenge du ikke lager så mye bråk, så går det bra. This is one of the cards I'm not too sure about, but I think I'll keep it. Spells you play cost 1 less to play for each card that with the same name as the spell in your graveyard. And this only applies to one spell, which I have, and that is my Relentless Rats, which looks like this. Rura, du kan ikke begynne med det her nå. Du kan ikke begynne med det her nå, det lager for mye bråk. Jeg kan ta det her senere. Beklager. So there we go. But it still makes it really powerful because then it only costs 2, so it makes it less expensive to get these out there. Yeah. And another one of these. Really cool. Yeah. So then I'm on my 5th round, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, okay. Maybe I have enough lands after all. I'm not sure what's going on. There's 3 lands here. I'm gonna remove this, of course. 1, 2, and 3. We'll start with this. It's the Lord Skitter's Butcher. When Lord Skitter's Butcher enters the battlefield, choose 1, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can block. Yeah. Or you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, scry 2, then draw a card. Also pretty cool. Creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. I think that is that 2 creatures need to block it. Yeah, so it's not the same as fair, but still pretty cool. So of course I need to keep this, and then suddenly we got 3 of these. So yeah, not much explaining necessary there, I think. Yeah, and sorry, I've lost count now. I think I'm on the 6th or 7th hand of this deck right here. This hand only had 1 land. No, 3 lands. Jeg er på min stream, Daniel. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. Put a Dread counter on Grasping Shadows. Then, if there are 3 or more Dread counters on it, transform it. I don't really remember what happened then, so I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, it lets me draw a card. Yeah. And I can do that. Oh, I can actually use, I don't have to turn it around after 3 turns. I can have this as long as I want. And then and it lets me draw a card, and I lose 1 life for how many counters I have on there. So pretty cool. I don't see any reason to remove this, so it's nice to actually be able to draw more cards. Then we have the rat pack. Power and toughness are equal to the number of rats you control. Also pretty cool. It's a rat, so it fits the theme, and I can discard a card and put a rat token in the battlefield as a copy of Pack Rat. And we got this guy. An adaptive automation enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. Adaptive automation is the chosen type in addition to its other types. Other creatures you call of the chosen type get +1/+1. Yeah, so it's a sort of the same effect as this, but it gives all my rats +1/+1 instead of just this. So pretty cool. And another one of these guys. Yeah. So yeah, going pretty good so far. I only got 3 cards here, which I need to remove from the deck. Other than that, it's all good. Oh my god. Okay. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands in here. And one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't need to explain these. I can't explain this though. It's Field of Ruin. It's still a land, but you can sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. Each player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it into the battlefield, and shuffles. So yeah. Pretty cool, and it's a nice way to get rid of nasty lands that gives players extra benefits and stuff. Another one of those hands which only has 1 land. So I guess my deck isn't shuffled that good. But oh well. So one more of these. And then I have this. As Gauntlet of Power comes into play, choose a color. Creatures of the chosen color get +1/+1. Yeah, so then I choose black, of course. Whenever a basic land is tapped for mana of the chosen color, its controller adds 1 mana of that color to their or her mana pool. Yeah, so I get to have more. Okay. I don't think this is too necessary though to have in here. It's a cool card, but I don't believe it's necessary to have it in my rat deck. I can add it to another. This will be more useful in my more expensive other black deck, so I'll just add it there instead. Yeah. Inkmonth Nexus. Okay, so then it wasn't 1 land, it was 2. Inkmonth Nexus becomes a 1/1 Blinkmouth artifact creature with flying and infect until end of turn. It's still a land, so yeah. So that lets me put out a Blinkmouth artifact creature with flying and infect. And this is an infect deck after all, or a toxic deck. Yeah. Nice. Strands of Undeath. Awesome card, because I can enchant a creature, but when this comes into play, target player discards 2 cards. So, and I get to regenerate a creature if it dies. Pretty cool. Another one of these. And this one. White spell costs an additional 3 to play. Activated abilities of white enchantments cost an additional 3 to play. This is actually pretty cool white is supposedly the direct opposite of black, so even though it doesn't match this deck a lot, I'm just still gonna keep it because it's an awesome card, and we hate white, right? So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now the weakness is starting to show. I have no lands here now, so yeah. Oh well. Hylas Crown of Winter. Tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate during your turn. Sacrifice Hylas Crown of Winter. Draw a card for each tapped creature your opponent controls. I have this card just for the fun of it, because it lets me draw a lot of cards, and the king needs a crown, right? So, yeah. Vampiric Tutor. Oh shit. Search your library for card. Then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. You lose 2 life. That card is pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to explain why I need to have this card. It's awesome. Yeah. A rat ninja card. It's got ninjutsu, so I can attack with whatever creature, and then I can put this into play, and that makes target opponent discard 7 cards. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. And this is a suspend card as well. So when this comes into play after 4 suspend rounds, target player discards 3 cards. So here, the discard effect is very much into play here. Tangle Colony, also pretty cool. When Tangle Colony dies, create X 1-1 black rat creature tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the amount of damage dealt to it this turn. So I can deal 10 damage to it and suddenly have 10 tokens. Or my enemy players can deal damage to it. But I think they'll understand the picture. I don't think they want to do that much damage to it. This is also pretty cool because, well, it's a rat and target opponent discards a card. Yeah, and I do love discarding, seeing my friends discard cards. It's actually more fun to me than destroying their creatures. So. This guy is a legendary creature, so he can also become a commander, but I've chosen, well, this guy as my commander instead for obvious reasons, but this guy has exploits, so he sacrifices a creature and then search your library for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. I'm not too sure if I need this though. He's a bit expensive and he doesn't fit my rat theme very much. He's a zombie, so I'll just omit him and see what happens. It's not probably my strongest omit that, but I'm still just gonna try to remove him and see if I can do something else right there. Here we have 1, 2, and 2 lands and 1 mana stone. Okay. So it's a land, and we got Rogue's Passage right here. I get to add 1, but I also can make a target not be blocked this turn. So pretty awesome. This is also quite cool. Target player sacrifices half the permanents he or she controls, run it down. And the reason it's cool is, well, it costs 10 to cast, but it's got a suspend, so that's why I'm keeping it. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if Curse of the Cabal is suspended, that player may sacrifice a permanent. If he or she does, put 2 time counters on Curse of the Cabal. So people can suspend this indefinitely if they want. I want another one of these. The Mana Stone, as mentioned. And this. During each player's upkeep, that player discards a card at random. I already have this in another deck, and it's just annoying to have, so I'm just going to remove it. This is awesome. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of life. Repeat this process until no one pays life. Each player puts 1-1 black rat creature token into play for each life he or she paid this way. So it lets me put a gazillion rat tokens into play, but I get all the benefits because I got all the bonuses on rats and others don't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we got 2 lands in here now. Yeah, and then we got this one. It's an equipment, and that equipped creature is unblockable and can't be the target of spells or abilities. So it's pretty obvious why I need to have this in my deck. It's pretty powerful and it's pretty good. Rat Catcher. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a rat card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. So also pretty obvious why I need to have this in there. 2 of these, and I have this, and I believe I need to keep this. It's a targeted removal, but it's a pretty powerful one. It's an additional cost to cast Ruthless Disposal, discard a card, and sacrifice a creature. So that's a pretty hefty price to pay. And you also pay 5 mana here, but 2 target creatures each gets 13 minus 13 until end of turn. So desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess. A land, and another land which gets me no maximum hand size. Can be useful, but this deck isn't that expensive, but I can just keep it in case I have too many cards in hand. But yeah. Hero's Downfall. It's a targeted removal that also targets planeswalkers and creatures, of course. So yeah, pretty awesome. I guess I have to have some targeted removals in here. One of the most powerful spells in Commander Black is Toxic Deluge. As an additional cost to pay the spell, you pay X life. All creatures get X minus X until the end of turn. But I just pay 3 and I choose how much life I want to pay. I lose that life and all creatures in play lose X amount of life I paid. So, yeah. Pretty awesome. One more of these. And this one, awesome card. Each other player, which means I don't have to do anything, but each other player discards a card from his or her hand. You draw a card for each card discarded this way. So if I play against 3 people, then if all players discard a card, then I draw 3 cards. And another one of these. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And 1 land. And whenever another rat enters the battlefield under your control, exile up to 1 target creature in opponent's graveyard. Okay. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. A pretty good card if you're playing against a player that's dependent on their graveyard to do anything. So, yeah. And it's a rat, so and it creates a rat token. Last but not least, we got this. Gets all my creatures gets Death Touch, and all other creatures in play lose Death Touch. So that means all other creatures my opponents control lose Death Touch. Yeah. I don't think I need to make any changes to this deck as it is. I've omitted these cards right here. I omitted this because it's too expensive and it doesn't fit the theme much. I omitted this because I have this in another deck and this card works better in that deck than it does in this deck because here it's just annoying, but I got bonuses on the other deck that makes this less punishing for me. So yeah, removing that. Removing this as well because I really don't need this in my deck because I got more need for land, and yeah, it gives my creatures +1/+1 and my mana produces 1 extra mana, but I still don't need this because the cards in this deck really aren't that expensive, to be honest. A really cool card. I wish I could keep it, but I guess not, because I don't really need to make my creatures stronger. They're very strong as it is. This is just another effect which I don't need. I have no life-giving effects in this deck, so why should I have one card that gives me life? No. And this card I need to check out because I don't believe I'm allowed to use it since it's got green mana in the activated cost here. So, yeah. So I'll just be adding more lands to this deck as I probably need it. So that will be going from 29 lands to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more lands. So then I'll have 35 lands in this deck, which will make it more faster. And I'll get my lands out quicker, which is good. Okay, that's my Rat Deck 2.0 done. I hope you enjoyed the video. The house needs their living room back, so I need to end this stream. But I hope you enjoyed it. please consider becoming a member. It lets me create more content for you guys like this and be able to, make more videos essentially. Yeah, and probably quit my day job, but that's a bit away. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned. Maybe I'll make even more additions or changes to this deck, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know if you saw this, Big Boss. Thank you for being a member. I hope you're doing okay wherever you are. But I know the time difference from Norway and wherever you live, I think you live in the United States or something like that, is a bit hefty. So sorry we couldn't chat today, but I hope you're doing okay. Oh well, take care, guys. Talk to you later. Bye bye.